right? When we thought that.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some people that are running their bakers on Raspberry Pis from like the ICO phase, so like 2017, 2018 Raspberry Pis
Crazy,
that are
yeah.
still doing just fine.
Well, last time I checked, it was still like the requirements were still for like an 8 gigs RAM. It wasn't like you didn't even need a 16. It's better to have a 16 gigs RAM, obviously, but I remember in the docs it said like it was still 8 gigs for RAM to run it, and you needed
Yeah,
obviously an SSD.
yeah. I'm running my baker with eight gigs of RAM and an M1 chip and a Mac Mini 2020, and it runs just fine. Never missing attestations or anything.
That's crazy, man. I can't even run the Reaper actual game with 8 gigs RAM.
That's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
I've been playing Arc Raiders.
And there was another post I think that he made. The one was for the quantum preparations and cryptography, and the other one, what was it about? Let me check. Let me check because the other one was interesting as well. Maybe even more interesting, for the recent future. Oh yeah, the shielded Tez. There we go. So he had another post about the shielded transactions on Tezos and basically about better ways to implement for more privacy. And there was also like an idea floating about maybe changing the liquidity baking rewards. You know how we have the liquidity baking now, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is with easy bits and everything. To actually have some sort of similar rewards or those rewards. I don't know if the idea was to redirect them or have something similar to basically incentivize the shielded set uh, pool, but he calls it set. And that would by itself increase, the privacy because if it was incentivized like that, more people would join and there would be more transactions every block getting in there. So it would increase the difficulty to connect the shielding and unshielding transactions.
Yeah, incentivizing shielded staking, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He also mentioned about staking, shielded staking. That was also very important. You know what?
Yeah,
I
I mean
should
that's the
find the
killer
links
tech.
and post them.
That's the killer tech right there. I mean, a lot of my friends and I that are in the DeFi world and like farming shit, that's the primary income is your staking. And if you have big stacks in there, you definitely don't want Uncle Sam to see what you're doing.
Or anyone, really. I mean, you don't want to make yourself a target if possible. And
Yeah, correct.
you hear about that Russian scammer in Dubai? Anyway, that's terrible. Don't rip people off who have nothing to lose. That's all I have to say.
Sorry, I'm going to mute for a sec just to get the links and post them down in the space so people can check what we are talking about.
Dude, we got Apple Farming season 2 ending at the end of the week too.
Oh. So what's the move after this? Did they announce a season 3? What's the plan moving forward? Do you know? I haven't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they got season 3 locked and loaded, ready to go. I just saw something about some bribes for doing uranium shit when in season 3.
All right. Yeah, I saw Superland is definitely gearing up. They've expanded some of their caps. They've added some more fun compounding things. So yeah, there's got to be definitely a season 3 coming. I need to dig into the deets. So, don't we have something big coming up here soonish, toward the end of the year, down in the southeast of the United States? Big gathering of individuals. I know that it seems like an annual thing you attend. Paper Buddha going on in Miami, maybe.
Yeah, we do Art Week, Miami, which coincides with the Art Basel activation, and me and the Temple, which is the name of my community, we're doing a bunch of different events that are Tezos specific. We got an open call going on Webby. Yeah, it's going to be a blast down there.
Now, do we have people coming from all over the United States to come do this thing? It's not just sort of like if you're on the East Coast, or like, will you see people from, like, say, Canada and Mexico and Australia, maybe?
From every country. This is the largest art activation in the United States every year. So it's a whole week of taking over Miami. Art Basel is the main event. First time I was there, I was showing at Art Basel, Maine, and I didn't know what the hell it was. And somebody brought me over. They're like, "Okay, here we are." I'm like, "What is this? Like an arts and crafts fair?" They were like, "Bro, this is the highest level prestige art show in the world." I was like, "Oh, okay." And yeah, it's a nonstop art party for a week and a half, and great place to network, get exposed to new people, meet new artists. Yeah, it's been phenomenally fun. Very noisy place, so don't expect a lot of one-on-one time with people, but definitely how you expand your network if you're into real life events.
That sounds like an absolute blast, man. And how long have you been going?
I've been going since 21. And yeah, I mean it's wild. It's exactly what you think Miami art people would be doing with tons of fucking money, driving around in exotic cars on South Beach, not wearing a lot of clothes, getting shit faced at all these parties. So lots of fun, big party.
I saw that you have the open call now with Web Social, right? I pinned it up here with the
Yeah,
and everybody. Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're on the top of the Gates Hotel. We're looking at 10 to 12 different screens and projection mapping on the side of the hotel. So really hoping to get a lot of good artists in that open call. The theme is Miami nighttime vibes, so looking forward to curating.
Can you maybe share like a cool moment that you maybe had in the last couple of years that just was like, wow, this is like impossible if I hadn't been here, sort of thing?
Oh man, there's a lot. Yeah. I've made friends with somebody down there that runs a supercar museum, and he actually gets the Formula One Red Bull cars right off of the Vegas track every year. And yeah, so I'm a big Formula One fan. So I got to check out Max Verstappen's, Red Bull car, go hang out and kind of do a bunch of F1 shit, which is a lot of fun for me. And then let's see, other times I'm a big fashion nerd. So I got to hang out with, Tom Ford and a bunch of his people at one of the after parties there. Big Doctor Who fan. So I've been able to hang out with Matt Smith a couple of times down there, who played the Doctor a couple iterations ago. And yeah, the Pepe community usually throws a really fun fake Basel festival that's all paying tribute to Pepe, which is a fucking blast. A lot of Tezos crossover there, so hanging out with the Tezos fam. And we did a permissionless gallery one year, and that was a lot of fun with Rob Ness and Empress Trash, the Solter, Mike Nash, me, a couple of other folks, Vando, and basically converted a trash can, a Twitter, with a short throw projector inside of it, and we all graffitied the outside of it, and we just rolled it up to whatever event we're going at that none of us were invited to, and we said fuck it, we just put our art up on the front of it. So it was a ton of fun. We don't need your permission, this is permissionless. And so projection mapping X copies on bulldozers and stuff, just having a blast, man. Really running around town like we were in our 20s. It's fucking excellent every year.
I didn't know you were an F1 fan. Who you got winning this season? Yes, for Orlando.
Oh, dude, it's my time. I've been a Lando fan since he's been streaming in his bedroom. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is my guy. He's finally getting it. But it's been great to watch the Max, Oscar and Lando battle. Yeah. And then me living in Detroit, I'm pretty excited to see the Cadillac team next year. They've got a lot of their wind tunnel testing and stuff here in Detroit.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting for sure. By the way, quick shout out to Plexosaurus Rex. He had a birthday a few days ago. I just checked. Happy birthday, belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
I also just saw that there is a new proposal in the ecosystem DAO from friends. We're saying it from friends.
From friends.
From friends. Yeah.
If you say it fast enough, maybe it doesn't sound as awkward. It doesn't sound like you're stuttering.
From friends.
No, it still
Yeah.
sounds like you're stuttering.
All right, but yeah, I think it is about like a sticker. They were gonna name it or something. Something about like a 24/7 live art feed or something. But yeah, I have pinned it up here. Go check it out. The docs and everything. They also should have a link to the Tezos Agora, I think, post. But yeah, in the end, if this this is gonna be put for voting, and in the ecosystem DAO, anybody with Tez can go and vote for or against any proposal. So keep an eye on that. Check it out, and if you find it interesting, it will help them if you vote for them.
Yeah, if you want to support them, head on over and give them a affirmative and support them in there. If you don't want to see them get the proposal, you can vote the other way, but you get a choice if you own some Tez.
From friends, they also were winners. I think one of the winners were in the Etherlink hackathon, right, Blanks?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so. I can't remember the exact project. There was a list of them. I could try to pull that up. Now, I'm gonna jump over to Paper Buddha one more time, just because I remember him mentioning from Marfa that he had been talking to some artists that are now very excited at the possibilities that Etherlink actually unlocks for them on Tezos, and that kind of got me curious. I kind of was paying attention, but a lot of it kind of went over my head. Can you kind of go over some of the reasons why Etherlink may appeal to some of the artists that you know outside of the Tezos ecosystem, just at least through their lens? Because it's very difficult sometimes, I think, to see outside our bubble. It makes sense to us, but it, like, when I see somebody really excited about something, I'm very curious why maybe they've found the excitement. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple of different levels to look at that. I think one of them is difficult, which is the purely artist lens. If you're just an artist and you don't really do a lot of dev stuff and you're not super involved in the ecosystems, then maybe it doesn't really matter to you, because your question at the end of the day is just, where should I mint my work that people are going to buy it? Which, by the way, is really fucking boring. So I would suggest that you do stuff more than just try to sell your art. My friends that are really interested in Etherlink is because it's EVM compatible. So that means that, let's say I've got a project on Ethereum called Crypto Dick Butts or Crypto Punks, and I've been there for a while. My floor looks pretty good at about 50 ETH. I'm probably not going to want to go start developing on Tezos Layer 1. That doesn't make sense. First of all, the code is bullshit. Sitting there trying to adopt, Python to SmartPy to Mipleson just to get stuff to work is a fucking nightmare. So it's not developer friendly. But if I were to say drop a companion PFP project like Punk Dogs, if I was doing Crypto Punks, well, now I've got the option to drop that on Etherlink because it's EVM compatible. It uses all the same tooling that I'm used to using. And as far as a wallet check on the back, it's a very easy API call to see, does this other EVM chain contain the NFT that I'm looking for in a specific wallet? And it does. So it's really easy to bridge these people over, no pun intended, bridge them over to Etherlink and have them start developing with the tools that they're already used to using. And when you look at, well, why don't people develop on Tezos Layer 1? It's because we haven't put in the money that Ethereum has to develop EVM, which is basically an operating system for Ethereum, right? We never did that with Tezos. We kind of half-ass phoned it in. And we're like, yeah, bro, you can go over here to these two different tools and maybe make them work for you. Good luck getting support. So we never really fostered a community of developers like Ethereum did. Well, Etherlink opens us up for that. That allows us to bring those folks over and have them start doing really fun shit on Ethereum. That's why we see things like these games popping up. We didn't have games in the Tezos ecosystem. I'm sure you guys remember Hamster Combat. Well, we missed the fucking boat on that because it was too difficult to make a game on layer 1 Tezos that would be adopted by the masses. Really easy to do on the Ton network, an EVM compatible chain. Really easy to do those things on EV compatible chains. So, that's what this rollup stuff is all about. This rollup stuff is all about us deploying a layer 2 like Etherlink, capturing a lot of the devs that are comfortable with with the tooling that's been there for a long time, with the communities that have been there supporting those tools. A good example is Transient Labs. Love Transient Labs. I've known all of those guys since before Transient was a thing, so have a lot of history and a lot of love for them. And the second Etherlink came out, they're like, finally, we can do stuff with Tezos, because all of their shit is geared for EVM, not Etherlink, but EVM, right? And so, not Ethereum, EVM. And so that means that now we get included. Now our wallet starts to get included with all of the other wallets. Now we're not the weirdo redheaded stepchild. We're actually part of the conversation. Why do you see me get excited about RWAs and uranium and shit? Same reason. These guys have been already doing all of this stuff. It's what creates the volume in their coin. It's why people engage with their blockchain. It's why people never engaged with ours, because we didn't have none of that. And I remember a few years ago just crying about, we don't even have lending in our stack. People couldn't even borrow shit against Tez. And now we can with Superlend and a lot of this other stuff. So if you're not bullish, you're not reading the room. We're finally playing catch up on some of this stuff. Some of this stuff we're ahead, like privacy. We've been doing that. So now we're really finding our footing as a chain, and the price action will catch up later. But yeah, Rarible is currently supporting Etherlink NFTs. If you play Apple Farm, that you buy your little PFP and you get a little bit of a boost. Where did they take you to buy your PFP? Rarible. And you went over to their site and boom, there's Etherlink stuff. So I'm toying around with a couple of fun things on Etherlink. I know a lot of other creators and developers that are working on things. So yeah, it's a sunny, bright spot for Tezos in a big way.
Now, when Spotify, but actually like a good version on Tezos? That's a good question. Fendel, get working on that. That's what we need Fendel to do. We need a Spotify, but one that actually pay. I think him and Ryan, could maybe really inspire some people to get behind that. Yoshi would love that. But yeah, I think a Spotify would work great. That might actually be
all that stuff is
best version.
All that stuff is possible now.
Yeah, that wasn't really possible, was it, on the L1? A little sluggish, a little clunky.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like wanting to fly the Learjet on the Ford model. What is that? The old Model T.
Yeah, the Model T. I was at the Ford Museum yesterday looking at Model Ts.
I think I saw one driving down the road one day, and I thought to myself, man, why would you put that thing out in the open? Like, I get it. It's a flex. They're cool. But why would you have that thing out on a road where any idiot who doesn't understand could just really do something to it? Oh, people and their stuff, though. So, with RWAs, man, like, what are you seeing in other ecosystems as far as RWAs are concerned? Are they just focused on examples of derivatives that they don't actually represent real assets? Like, is this a thing it's a big conversation piece at the table for a lot of these chains. I'm not seeing many examples of actual RWAs out there. Kryptonio, what have you seen?
You mean on other chains?
Yeah, like RWAs. Like, I know we have gold and silver and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, does like it?
Yeah, gold. I mean, gold has been out since, I don't know, 2020, 2021 or so. They were trying to put it on chain. But I haven't seen anything exotic like that, like uranium.
Yeah, or especially like super highly regulated like that to the point where you could potentially purchase it with rights to deliver if you have the ability
Yeah,
to, which is insane. That's always been the thing,
yeah,
right? If we're doing this, like we don't even know if our stocks are real. You might have them directly registered in your name, but is that really yours? I don't know. Are you still just a ledger in a database?
yeah. Also, for me, it's the point of accessibility. Like you could invest in gold even before it got on chain, right? You had ways to invest
Right. Yeah,
in
you could
gold.
just go purchase gold at the bank.
Yeah, or online, even online, with whatever ways there are.
Costco.
But
Costco sells gold. Apparently, there's like arbitrage available because they're not selling it at
yes,
high enough price.
for me, the important thing was that with the uranium that you didn't have access before, now you have, and there are a bunch of other, I think, like rare metals and commodities that you could basically make accessible to the public, to the everyday user through tokenization. And I wonder what could be next. Like what other metals or
Or is it just
commodities
like, I
could
mean,
we
I'm
see?
thinking about things that are outside metals. You know what I mean? Like, how cool would
Yeah,
it be if you,
Like land.
yeah, or owned part of like a
land.
resort, like or an entertainment company or something, or like a services company, something.
There
Shit,
was a
you went
tokenization of
straight
a
to a
resort,
timeshare.
wasn't there?
I mean, come on, man. They sell these timeshares on Vegas. They're still pushing them to this day. Why? Because I mean, it plays into the same mindset that
Didn't we have the Saint Regis resort tokenization on Tezos in the past? Remember?
Saint
You could,
Regis.
yeah,
I don't know. I think so. I remember. I know
yeah.
we worked on different versions of that, but I don't know that it solved any
I know that
issues.
back then it was 2021, I think, and there were so many obstacles, man, regulatory obstacles, So that's also one of the variables that we have to take into account. That back then they tried a lot of stuff to bring them on chain, but there were so many obstacles. Now maybe the field is getting, a little bit better for stuff like that to happen and
Yeah, we already had
materialize.
the fart coin booms, so maybe they can take it more seriously.
Yeah, maybe. But for me, honestly, I used to work as a real estate agent, so real estate and land and everything, if that happens, but in a good implementation, because it's really tricky, and there have been some attempts to tokenize, real estate, but they weren't that good, in my opinion.
From a
And
real estate perspective, I feel like chain of command or chain of custody makes a lot of sense.
mhm,
Tokenizing that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah. And keep in mind, in many countries, even all the records of ownership and everything, they are not even online,
Mm-hmm. They're in some
like,
book that's in the middle of town that could easily burn down.
yeah. And we had that issue, for example, in Athens. I remember there was a flood actually in one of the main buildings where they stored a bunch of ownership books and everything, and uh, it all got destroyed from like the 1970s and the 1980s, or the records where they were all destroyed. So they would give you a verification like that this file has been destroyed, and you could go to your notary and move forward with that verification, if you couldn't find like the records. So it was pretty weird. And to think that they still in some countries have them offline, it's when we have all this technology and everything, it's really, really weird, man, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think chain of custody is a huge missed opportunity. Very simple. It doesn't mean like I'm not talking about like fractionalized owner. We have all that figured out. We don't necessarily fix that
Yeah,
with crypto. But
true.
man, having that grain of rice store 65,000 years worth of info is really nice. You know, just saying.
Yeah.
Because then you only need like one silo.
Yeah.
No, I see it working really well for say like notary, for um, like an assessor could really definitely benefit from like what blockchain has, especially because it's there, like the way that you would assume an actual record, like a ledger of transactions would be. It makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I really, really hope, man, one day, we see it implemented. Because I had so many hurdles working, in real estate that I was thinking, like, why the hell, man, with all the technology we have, why the hell do they still have these processes in place?
Because it's based on like some esoteric 19th century law.
Yeah. And not everything needs a blockchain, to be fair, right? To be solved. Like some of them could be with just databases, but blockchain could add another layer of like transparency and like
well, you remove an entire records department, like when it's all there.
Yeah.
If it's public information and it should be accessible and easily accessible to the public, why not make it that way and then take the pressure off of, say, an entire department to do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but now we're putting people out of a job, so I better stop talking that way. That's babies not getting their sugary snacks and chips and sodas, so we better not talk that. Yeah. It makes sense, though. It makes sense, I think. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense that you take like your hotel token and then you confuse it with your utility token, and it could have like an epic crypto kitty that squats on somebody else's miner and shuts it down. Although that could be fun.
Yeah. Depends on what you consider fun.
I think making crypto kitties out of like real tokens would be fun.
I think you hit on something important there too, though, like all joking aside, which is that most of these people are way over engineering a solution. It's like, yo, if you would have just stuck with fucking tokenize the hotel room, we would have been okay. So hopefully people learn from that and don't repeat that mistake.
The mini bar and the mini fridge. We'll tokenize that first. That's where we'll start. It'll be the legit way to track everything instead of $15 can of Pringles.
We had plenty of examples where people, were looking for problems for the solutions that they have built, which was so counterintuitive, and eventually, they all like vanished. And the other thing that everything needed to have a blockchain, chips on a blockchain.
Well, not only that, it needs NFTs, it needs tokens, it needs a yield farm, it needs
whatever the trend was, right?
Right, yeah. It needs AI, it needs RWAs, it needs it all. I think you are right on about the over engineering. We are, but then again, how often are we as humans just trying to make it fit? We're trying to make sense out of this chaos that's all around us, and we're fighting for like the validation that we're not crazy. Well, at least that's me. I can't speak for anyone else, honestly. That would be rude for me to say that anyone else is crazy, but I definitely feel nuts most of the time when I look around me and I go, this doesn't make sense. Why are we doing it? Well, because that's the way it's always been. Well, can it change? No. Why? Because change is bad. And then we go through the cycle again, and it's fun.
Because change is scary.
Well, scary is bad. I don't think scary is bad or good inherently. I think scary maybe is more indicative of a lack of understanding or ignorance, maybe. Because when you do understand, you're resigned, disappointed, excited, depressed. You have these other you're never scared. You're accepting. You're not accepting, but you're never scared when you understand. So maybe we've been tricked, man. Maybe we think scared is bad, but we should be thinking ignorance is bad or not knowing. We can be okay with not knowing.
Yeah, the only thing you should be afraid of is fear itself.
And then fear comes from what? The not knowing, right? The fear of not knowing the outcome, right? That's the real fear.
Yeah, of wanting to be in control of the outcome, more like it.
Man, if only we were like wizards and we could just cast spells. What would like an insecure wizard be like? Does he cast like a kind of powerful fireball?
Always a self-invisibility, bro. Oh no, fucking disappeared.
Yeah, like instant gone. Like where'd he go? Oh, he fucked off as usual. That's what he do.
The Invisible, that's the movie right there. The Invisible Man is insecure.
It, it would be the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. It'd be the insecure sorcerer, where just every single conflict, every interaction, he just vanishes. You know, he goes into a bar, he's hungry. The waitress walks up, or the barmaid walks up, and she's like an attractive elf, and poof, he vanishes. And you know, like that's the
I'm in. And we got to get the insecure bard that is always playing at the inappropriate time.
right, and over talking himself and everybody around him. Yeah,
super camp.
Yeah. Talking like maybe we could like channel maybe someone like Gary V.
No shade to my dude, but I bet he's hella insecure.
It's not shade. It's just if you listen to the patterns of repetition, it's always about what he does and how he does it. And a lot of the stuff he talks about is really right on. I love the guy's principles. I love where he comes from. But a lot of times I feel like he's illustrating what he does in order to do that. And that's validation he got to find. We can't give that to him. Although maybe that's his vibe. Maybe he loves that. Maybe he just wants to hear it over and over again. So he puts it out there. And if you can't hear it, if you don't put it out there, which is something really powerful to really understand. No matter how much you like him or don't agree with him or whatever, he is a man who's put it out there over and over and over again and been consistent with his message to the point that maybe you might think he's a little insecure, but aren't we all at some level? The ones who say they're so secure in their life, those are the ones you got to watch out for. What is it? The joke is you got to watch out for the guy who's worth $10 million and he lives in a $2.5 million house. You really got to watch out for those guys.
Yeah, don't fuck with a millionaire that mows his own lawn.
Bro, the best kind of millionaire cuts his kid's hair.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll tell you that you never end up secure, man. I went through a whole career where I ended up a COO and, being an executive and making a bunch of money and shit, and was insecure the whole way, dude. I had imposter syndrome the whole way. And then stopped all that to become an artist. And on day one, insecure as fuck. Standing in the museum with people talking about traditional Buddhist art, super insecure. Like, it never really goes away. You just learn how to deal with it, recognize it, go, oh, that's insecurity. Okay.
Do you find your limitations aren't as terrifying or daunting to come up against anymore? In fact, they're kind of exciting because then you can see places you might be able to improve or grow.
Oh, 1,000,000%. That, and then, the realization that literally every other human being has those same emotions. And then you just recognize the emotion. You look at the person next to you like, oh, they've felt that before. All right. Yeah, no big deal. We'll get through it. And yeah, that uncomfortability always leads to growth.
Unless you're a reptilian like Ryan, our Yang Ta up here. Welcome. How are you?
Yes. Are you having deep conversations?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it sounds like.
Do you know who Jack Handy is? We're kind of going the opposite direction of Jack Handy.
Yeah. No, I know Jack Handy. Deep thoughts.
Yeah, man. If you drop your keys into a pool of lava, forget them, man. They're gone.
Wow.
That is a Jack Handy deep thought.
That's a nice one.
Ryan, how are you, brother? Welcome.
I'm good. I just came from sorry I'm late, but
yeah, you're late, man. What the hell? No, I'm kidding.
I know.
Thanks for coming. No, you're never late, dude.
Yeah,
thanks for showing
yeah.
Up when you
No. I was just enjoying you guys' thoughts. Yeah, the security thing is for real. It never goes away. I used to get really nervous when I was first started doing music. And then, I think I mentioned this before. There was a moment in life where I couldn't tell if I was improvising or playing music, or what is normal versus improvising, right? So it's all just blended together now. And yeah, even then, it's just like, oh, well, how am I doing? Or like, oh, did I say that the right way? Or could it have been better, right? Like, if you're like Yeah, introspection, man. What a drag.
But you got to be real careful with that self-counsel, because when you do self-diagnosis, man, like
Oh no, you're
it's bad.
wrong.
Yeah, you're off.
Yeah, it's not as bad as you think it is. That's the
We
you know.
are our biggest critics in the
Mhm.
world. We know our deepest, darkest secrets. We know why we didn't do that extra. We know why we didn't smile at that person. Does that make us a good or bad person because we didn't necessarily do
Yeah.
something fleeting? I don't know. If we 100% bought into this idea that we lived this weird perfect life and we acted out every perfect impulse, man, I think life would be wild, because your perfect like world is nothing compared to my perfect world. And
Yeah.
I know Paper Buddha ain't trying to get in my perfect world. That's for sure.
He's not? What's
No,
wrong with him?
and neither
He
are
should.
you are Yang Ta. You are not.
I've been trying really hard for the last, as long as I've known you. I don't even know what we're talking about, but
You're good. I love you, man.
no,
Appreciate it.
but like, yeah, no, you're right, because like no one knows you better than yourself, and you see everything right about yourself. A lot of things, maybe you don't like too, but the truth is that everyone else is the same way, and right, like, do you really know that guy you just passed by on the street, like what he's going through? Not really, and you never will. Right? So people are.
Even
The
if he
lesson
told
is,
you, you probably wouldn't believe him. That's the scary
yeah,
part.
yeah. So the thing is, like, the moral of the story is no one's paying attention to you, really. No one knows really.
I mean,
So
they're paying enough attention to make sure that they're not going insane.
yeah, and but that's all projection, right? So
Sandy, we tried to
No
add
good or
you. Something
no good or
happened.
bad.
It bounced you.
yeah, it's not good or bad. It's just, and it's kind of freeing that way, knowing that
Yeah.
most people don't care what you're going through, because
So they're both the same. They're both sides of the same coin, right? Good and bad. You got to have both.
Mhm.
One of my favorite sayings is, "Don't be careful of the demons you exercise." That might have been my favorite thing about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes-
we're not perfect beings, man. Our imperfections are kind of the humanizing nature. Otherwise, we'd be some carbon copy, like weird sort of, I don't know, weird robot clones. But we'd still
Yeah.
probably differentiate ourselves somehow.
Yeah. Interesting thing to think about is that, like, I don't think people are nice naturally, we're all animals at the end of the day, right? But
Are you saying I have to choose to be nice to you? No, I'm kidding.
no, but it's like, sometimes it's interesting to think about what caused that person to be nice. If you meet a nice person, there's a reason why they became that way, and it's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
It could be nothing crazy, but but so I don't know. A lot of people I know, maybe it's just because I know a lot of artists, but there's lots of ups and downs, right? With that kind of lifestyle, and so you meet people who have done things, and you can't have the light without the dark, right? In a way, I feel like even in the art on Tezos, I see that a lot. People struggling with like the dark side, but there's also hope, right? It's very complicated. That's what mature artworks are about. That's what I feel.
That's fair. I mean, without contrast, you actually have no image. It's just flat.
Yeah, and it's about telling a story, right? Even the symbol of art, right? You see those masks, right? Even in the emoji, it's a mask, someone laughing, and a mask of someone crying, right? At the same time, and that's life, right?
And then the other version is just handfuls of Zoloft every day, where you're just flat. Sandy, welcome to the stage.
Speaking of Zoloft and crazy, hello people. How you doing?
Hello.
No, that's not what I was
So,
referring at all.
Hello,
no, I will own it because first of all, thank you so much for giving me a chance to be here with you. I think perspective is what you were getting at, and
Mm,
perspective doesn't always necessarily mean you have to jump in the oil and get burned. Watching my uncles and aunts get killed during revolution, and learning lessons of how to live. I didn't
mm,
have to do what they did, so survival became different. But you know what? Now that I'm 58, I think it also goes back to like a distiller. You distill things. Like I was thinking the other
mm.
day, well, what was it that I really wanted when I was 6 years old? You know what I really wanted when I was 6 years old? To be able to have cats and dogs and to play in the garden and just eat the good fruit that was hanging from the trees in our backyard. And now that I'm 58, I had to do all these things. I had to go get my degrees, my work, build a family business, have a kid, check off all these things. And now I'm like, well, what is it that really makes me happy? You know what? Waking up in the morning with my two dogs, and like we spend 10 minutes playing peekaboo. One of my dogs likes to play peekaboo as soon as I wake up. I'm not kidding you. And so, and my brother's shop, they fix fancy cars. So I've been inside Ferraris, Rolls Royces, but honestly, I just like to go up to my Sequoia home, make art, and make sure that my son's okay, and not really worry about. I can't fix the world, but I've managed to create the world around me that pleases me. And like you said, it's my perfect world. Not everybody's a dog person or a cat person. I like my old Persian rugs. I like to drink tea with my son. And here we are. So you distill things. And, I've had a few surgeries, life threatening situations. So I've been in the hot oil myself. My sister almost died 2 weeks ago. She was in the hospital in critical care. Now she's going through chemotherapy. And when you got somebody so close to you like that, things sparkle more, food tastes better. It's a weird thing. You become a lot more appreciative of everything. And you try to kind of create boundaries to be sane. And yeah, I've been diagnosed with ADD. Well, first in school, it was dyslexic, bipolar, and all these other labels. But you know what? If you see me in the street, you think I'm perfectly normal. I'm the person people ask for directions and when shit gets weird, but they don't know what's going on in my head.
Well, no one does, and no one ever will. That's okay.
I mean, I
You know?
think maybe
Standing.
one day with Neuralink advances, maybe we'll be able to get inside each other's
maybe.
heads. Maybe
Uh,
be weird to wear somebody else's
that
skin.
sounds
for a
really
day.
weird. I'm very uncomfortable with that. No, thank you.
I don't know. I got a weird idea that maybe the brain's more of an antenna than a storage device. I don't know. We'll see.
I guess for me, like I grew up, I both my parents work for the government, and so.
Oh, what secrets do you have?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Obviously, they were like
the
in
UFO
accounting or
ones.
something.
Yeah, but
Oh, can you give us a hint? Oh my God, I hate when people do that. Well, I know something, but I can't tell you. Otherwise, I got to kill you.
I don't know anything. Trust
He
me.
knows nothing. And he's being dramatic.
I'm not authorized to say that.
I'm not authorized to even acknowledge that.
But he would be dramatic even if he did know.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but no,
Sandy.
but like it's more like a social thing where, like, when you're working in the public sector, you have to be very careful all the time about what you're saying, right? You have to, so that part of, I understand it's like related to insecurity, but it's more than that, right? It's like that anxiety you have of not, like, you having to be careful, right? Like walking on eggshells. So I kind of grew up like that, growing up, like, worry
he
about.
grew up Japanese, folks. If you want.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't help either. This. Yeah, no, you got to be proper all the time, right? So
yeah, well, we're all judging you.
Yeah, I mean they are, and it's true, and they totally are.
Unfortunately, as much as I want this world to be a free.
Yeah, so it's not just all in your head. There is some of that judgment going on, but doing music and art for me was like an escape because that where I felt like, oh, I could just do what I just want to. I'm just doing something for me, right? And I have this idea I just want to see out, and so it's been interesting because part of the reason, like out of all the places I I've been with a lot of subgroups throughout my life, but the folks at Tezos is a little you're direct, but so I don't get a lot of that anxiety of like having to filter myself, which I really appreciate. But at the same time, you have your shit together. That's the part I don't understand. Because I have a lot of people where it's just like, oh my god, they have no filter, right? And zero filter, just say everything that comes to the top of their mind. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe you just told me that. Like, and I used to hang out with those people, and then like a few years later, they're like, oh, what happened? Why would you get fired from your job? So I don't know. Like maybe I'm just kind of rambling right now, but I'm just saying like.
Oh, there's nuggets in there. I would have cut you off if you were rambling. There's some nuggets in there. I'm still loving this.
But like I think you got people here. You're not as unhinged as you think you are. Like you guys.
But you might be.
But in a way that makes you more dangerous because you know how to circumnavigate the world of normalcy. But
some people might argue that's sociopathic. I would just say that that's surviving in this world where there is no, I mean, you decide what's right and wrong. I can't decide that for you, which is terrifying to me because there is that possibility that we might not agree. And if we don't agree on certain things, should that affect how I treat you? I don't know. It's wild. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
When we all think the same and we look the same because we look around and we just see ourselves and everybody, man, the world is nuts. And
it is nuts.
That's how we relate, though.
I know.
So I appreciate every last one of you being so vulnerable and open up here sharing because, quite honestly, it's tough being real in this world. It's very easy to hide. We can hide behind an online persona. We can hide behind our sunglasses. We can
talk about the weather.
I mean, you used to have a newspaper that you could hide behind in public, and you could go sit on a park bench and just pull up your newspaper, and then you were like in your own little cubicle, but out in public. Now we've shrunk the size of that thing down to a little 8-inch screen or a 4-inch screen. But I mean, we're not that much different than we were, I think, 100 years ago. Maybe life has gotten a little easier, so we have less of a communal fight to survive and more of a area to just sit and complain if we want to or be happy. Kind of a weird place.
We have more time to complain now.
If you choose not to complain and you choose to try to rewire the brain and you stop thinking that way, man, it stops happening.
Complaining feels so good though, man.
Unfortunately, there's
but
there's a study behind that though.
We're in a great time of change right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're right. What you said about 100 years ago, it was the same as now. Okay, 100 years ago, it's the extraction mentality. So the Industrial Revolution, people lost fingers, they worked mega hours, and it was the owners of these factories that extracted the labor and the profits. Has that really changed? Amazon, people, they peed in a bottle and we heard what happened. Amazon makes all this money. Facebook, all these children, I would think, people who had to read and listen and watch the horrific videos and be traumatized because they worked in the censorship department. We're connected. We created decentralization, but yet the extraction still continued. 99% of the value of so many tokens disappeared. Liquidation got taken out.
Yeah.
And the artists are still building platforms.
Do you think that's human nature? Do you think that's human nature, or why do you think that's still happening?
We've gotten to, I think we're in a time of great change. I think we're finally so connected globally. We see everything that's happening, and we're the artists that are pointing out, is this who we are? Is this extraction mentality? Are we going to continue
Mm,
to be, and like you said, it's scary, change is scary, but we're seeing it, yet we're participating in it. I'm so done building platforms for other people. I've been doing it for 4 years. I've sold nothing. I mean, next to nothing if I was going to have a real job. So I've had my time and energy extracted. And I just don't see the overall thing changing yet until we finally get to a point where we realize we don't want to participate in the extraction mentality of this world. I don't care where you are. You can point at China, Russia, Iran, United States, all of it.
because
So,
it's
yeah,
yeah.
it's up to the artists to point this out with their music, with their art, and make it on everybody's mind. And you know what? I think the younger generation, the Z generation who grew up with this technology, I'm watching them and I'm hopeful because we have to make a change because ecocide is real. When I see 20% of the Sequoia National Forest, the trees disappearing in 5 years, I'm done telling people what to do, this and that. I'm just like, just come look at them before they're gone. I take
Mm,
pretty pictures and say, come look at them because I can't fight this extraction mentality with anger or any kind of vigilance. So that's where I am. We have to stop the extraction mentality.
yeah, change is coming though. And it's pretty obvious, I think. Actually, tonight I'm going to hang out with the new mayor of Seattle. I supported her in the
She won?
canvas. She's probably going to win. Like, okay, I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, it was 49.8 versus 49.7%. Okay, that's how close this was.
Dang, are you guys like
So,
going and like are you checking the votes that didn't get counted and
no, no,
canvassing
no.
them and trying to get
I
their
don't know
votes
how long.
reinstated? Like
It honestly might go for weeks, but it's.
I was
But
a
anyway,
swing vote for an election once. I got approached by a group to
so
fix my signature.
yeah, basically, what happened in New York is happening in Seattle, and yeah, no, like it's not just it's all connected, right? Like we're in times of big change, right? Like, um, it's the economy, it's the jobs, it's the tech, it's politics, and but it's also culture, right? With art, and I feel like we're kind of going through, like Sandy mentioned, like it goes in cycles. This happened during the Great Depression as well, right? Like uh, power consolidated to corporations, right? Corporations controlled everything. We were living in a gilded age. The gap between the wages and living standards widened, right? And then the extraction, right? And then it's very, very hard to, like, I don't know. It feels overwhelming, right? Like, what can you do, right, as an artist? But I do think, the best thing we can do as artists is really just kind of show the world as it is, right? And for that you need a degree of like directness and honesty, and just being yourself, right? And
Where can I get a degree in directness and honesty? Is there like a bachelor's of arts and integrity or something I can get?
MBA, no.
MBA seems dirty and seedy. Those
Oh,
all
no,
those
no,
people run the world, right?
no, I was saying, what is not that? uh you can get an ethics studies.
Is it possible that a college can't actually bestow a degree of integrity because they don't actually have any?
I don't think, as someone who was kicked out of university once, I don't see that happening.
I too was kicked out of university.
Really? For what?
Well, you got to go to class. I got a 0 cigarette, bro.
You deserve that. Yeah.
I did. I deserved it. I was highly depressed. I went through some stuff. I didn't come out of my room for like 2 weeks. There was,
Sorry to hear that.
No, it's life, man. I'd never been alone. I'd never lived far away from my family. Like there was a bunch of stuff going on there. I had to figure it out. I was baby. I grew up.
Yeah.
Now I'm toddler.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
I was baby. Now I'm toddler.
You're doing all right now.
Hobbling along. Now remember, you surround yourself with people like the Tezos community. Surround yourself with people you can trust, that you want to see grow, that you want to see successful, that you want to see survive. Surround yourself with those people because they want the same for you. I mean, like, let's be real. If they don't, then why are you surrounding yourself with them? They're called leeches. They're called parasites. You take a dewormer, you give that to your dog. That's what you do to get rid of those.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I would go that far. I mean, your close circle. I'm not saying don't alienate the world, but the people that you get close to you are kind of like the food you allow in your body, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're getting close,
I'm talking close. No, I don't say reject the world. Love the world.
No, don't go out around town and
wash your hands. Take showers.
Yeah.
If you want to have friends.
Yeah. Wow. This got real deep here.
Didn't it?
Yeah. This is the deepest community call I've been to.
Well, we're all about motivating people. So here, why don't we just say this? If you just joined, this is Tuesday Tezday, our open mic community call. We heard from a few artists and builders already, so the floor is still open. If anybody else wants to come up and join,
did they tell you about? Did Fendo say about TezCon?
Fendel, he shared snippets of information about TezCon. He let me know when he decided, but the details, like everything that you've got going on in the Discord,
July 11th.
Right.
That's it.
That's all the info we're releasing right now. All the other details are sort of, you have to be around and part of it in order to hear the rest.
What was it? July 11th?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you put it in your calendars, July 11th.
8 months from today.
Yes, we're starting way early. You're not going to remember this.
Unlike TezDev, which is March 30th.
And then this year we're having on July 12th, we're having a second Arts Day, and we would like to do something artistic.
Ooh, yeah. So we didn't have one last year.
Yeah. We wanted to, but it didn't work out.
Right.
But I think we're going to focus on those 2 days this next year. And so if you have any ideas, it's still blank, still wide open.
I got some ideas, buddy. I got some ideas.
Yeah, we need to poach those ideas. We need to poach them. We need all of the ideas. Just kind of pour them out into a big sack and then just make them happen.
We'll have it in a wacky, awesome.
We can sprinkle them on the ground. We can roll them up and smoke it, whatever. Everything in between, dude. We need all the ideas.
Yes. So we're facilitating feedback for what you want to do.
Is there a chance we might be able to see you come out for TezCon, PB? That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Me and the whole crew. Fuck it, we'll just make it a big thing. I heard that there was a whole extra day for us to plan.
Yes, you've got the 12th would be the day that you guys could just take it over. The temple takes over Seattle on the 12th. That would be amazing.
We get you should totally message me later.
I will. We'll talk about it
sooner than later, PV. Sooner than later.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
We learn our lessons that sometimes 8 months is not enough.
Well, when you're planning these things, technically you should start planning it the minute it's over, right? Like you should be working on the replan. So like when you get these things running, then if you happen to start having quarterly events, you're still planning them out 12 months in advance.
Fendo was actually good about reminding us about that. He's like, hey man, we got to start planning already. I'm like, yeah.
You guys have an amazing resource out there in the man Fendel. I'm just letting you know.
Oh yeah, he knows everyone around here. And yeah, I think if he's coming up, let him speak for himself.
If there's anybody in this space who has probably been through a lot of interesting events, venues, performances, I bet you Fendel has some stories. You've been in the professional music scene for a long time. And not just as like we're saying like a jam musician or some sort of studio guy. Like, I mean, you've done it all too, right? Fendel, welcome.
Hey guys, really lovely to hear everybody, and Yeah, I've been playing music for a long time, of course, as you know. Lots of different contexts, different bands, and amazing connections. And yeah, really looking forward to TezCon, Paper Buddha. Can't wait to see you, my friend, and anybody else who's down there. Of course, you're very much welcome. And we're also looking for a theme, which Brian and I had talked about.
Oh yeah.
So if anybody has ideas for that, we even were talking about a kind of a thing, something that you were talking about, Blangs, which was, kind of what does Tezos mean to you, or
He's
how
talking
does,
about that. He's talking about our branding session.
I know it's a branding session, but I kind of thought that, maybe there was something to that in the theme of TezCon itself, but it was
I think so.
just an idea kicking it around. And, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Blanks?
What other ideas did you have?
Well, I mean, it was
I had
interesting talking to Plexosaurus Rex, but you know, we had talked a little bit about maybe like attaching a theme to place um, or which? Fundraising. Oh yeah, fundraising. Um,
Oh yeah, you're
yeah.
still there, huh? Right here. Oh yeah, we had a dinner a couple. Yeah, yeah. It was fun. Uh, yeah. No. In case people don't know what we're talking about. So like blanks. Like we had a talk a couple weeks ago
Dude,
about.
what if so if the 90s are popular, why don't we go ahead and go with the 80s? We'll do an 80s theme, like a punk theme. That resonates with what does Tezos make me feel like. I mean, the punk movement's always been pure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But it's like, yeah,
Just
like
minus the heroin.
the idea was that, hey, we should talk more when we talk about Tezos, we should talk less about like what we're actually doing, but like how it makes us feel, right? So like, for example, for me, it was like I feel very safe when I'm talking to you people here because I can say most things and not worry, right? Because you're very honest and direct. And, I love Taya because they're reliable and I can count on them, right? It's just security, right? Safety, like I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And then so yeah, we were talking about that for a little while at our dinner. And so thinking like, oh, maybe that can be part of the theme. So yeah, I would like to ask everyone here, like, what does Tezos make you feel? Right? Like, I don't know. But I feel like that will connect to people more because
So there's a feeling I get in like the city of Phoenix versus the city of Las Vegas. So like when I'm walking around the streets of Phoenix, there's this feeling of like cleanliness. And when I walk around the streets of Vegas, there's this like sticky grime all over everything. And that's an example of the feeling that we need to articulate here, because that's something that is subconsciously everybody notices and knows, but they can't put their finger on it. They can't articulate why maybe it feels better to walk around in Scottsdale at the middle of the night as opposed to, say, the Strip at 10 p.m. when nobody's walking around and there's anyway, we won't talk about that, but
yeah,
that's where we're
right.
looking at, because I mean, let's be real, they're both desert cities, they both have casinos, they both have nightlife, they both have food. They're both the same thing. What separates them? Well, one is a city of dreams, and one is a place of a burgeoning place of rebirth. You decide which one is which for yourself.
Huh. So yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Fendo, but that was the.
No, I like that, Fendel. I like it. Now for a theme, I really, really liked the Sasquatch from last year. That was fun. And clinging on to the Pacific Northwest is, I think, pretty
the
iconic.
truth was out there, right? That was it.
Yeah. The truth is out there. That Sasquatch alien theme, that was beautiful. It plays into a lot of different, like you could go with it in a lot of different places. It had a lot of mind space with it. You didn't have to say much, and it told you where it was. It was Pacific Northwest. So something along those lines is really smart, I think. I think if we if we do theme it again, I mean, it'll be a lot easier to incorporate the theme, have a lot more galleries and things curated in that direction, have more people prepared to go that way, and then we can actually dress in that fashion too. So get more into the theme this year could be fun. Maybe it's uranium.
How does uranium make you feel?
What if it's just yellow cake is the theme? It could be birthday cake. It could be uranium. What if it's just yellow cake?
Radioactive.
It could be.
Uranium makes me feel weird because it's like, oh,
right?
man.
I mean,
it's like energy, but it's also kind of dangerous.
It's so controversial.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's not that easy, right? It's not like I was kind of making fun of it, but it's actually not that easy to talk about. So no, it's
I'm curious to hear more.
I don't have any ideas yet, to be honest. I'm just here for the logistics. You guys can do all the.
So are you feeling indifferent, ambivalent?
I'm not a good theme coming upper guy.
Well, what does Tezos make you feel?
Me?
Safe.
Yeah.
He said it feels safe.
Yeah. It's security.
Safe?
It's
Safe and
Oh,
reliability.
the
secure.
security. Okay.
There's
Yeah,
a level
especially
of
that.
trust and reliability. That
Yeah. It's a nice because, like I said, I was saying earlier, like, I grew up in an environment where everyone's like kind of touchy, like even artists can be really like, so like, here I, when I ask people a question, right, I usually get a straight answer.
Well, you see, Ryan, if basically what you're trying to accomplish is
oh
nothing.
my God, shut up, please. That's what I'm thinking, but I can't say that. I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
I'm
like, get to the point. Yeah, get to the point. No, you're gonna just go.
You got to be careful, man. The old man is starting to show through.
I know. I am getting old.
That's funny. Oh, I want to say welcome to the stage, a 3D pin wheels by Inhoka. Welcome. Oh, retro.
Retro's coming up.
I didn't fat finger retro. I still feel bad about that PV. I'm sorry, man. That was like my first fat finger, I think, ever.
Oh, you kicked him off.
Oh, Insta. It's like, oh, PV's coming up. Boom, bye. All right. Well,
Ryan,
I guess
what about something?
Classic.
What about something around, I don't know, diversity or like the global nature that it has?
Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't know what you can make out of that, but for me, I mean, it's one of the main points that I'm feeling.
It's not a
feeling,
though,
That's like a thing it
yeah,
does.
true,
Yeah.
but maybe inclusivity. Maybe that's the
Inclusivity.
feeling. Yeah,
Oh, you convert
like,
that acceptance. Well, but that's also comfort.
connection.
Right?
Yeah,
Connection.
connection also. Because like you, it's one of the few places where you get to connect with so many different people and different mentalities and cultures and everything. And
yeah, those are the
still
themes.
being able,
Those are the themes that came up. There was so reliability, safety, connection, right? Feeling you're part of something bigger. For Fendo, I think I remember him saying like it's about, hey, but we're actually trying to do something, right?
So could it be less about inclusivity and more about actual freedom? Because inclusivity implies like exclusivity, which means not being free to do what you want.
Oh yeah, creative freedom. That's another one, right?
Freedom.
That we talked about freedom,
which is a weird one. We like to describe things what they aren't, and that's not an effective way to find like the core meaning or principle that's behind it. Anything that's not killing, well, that's a lot of things, instead of saying don't kill.
Right.
Well, it's not.
I don't know. So I've been doing this actually. I kind of took our meeting pretty
Oh yeah.
to art. Yeah, no, because I was like, oh, this is a good point. You raised a good point. And I'm trying to convert ways of things that are here, right? Like diversity, right? But it's like, well, how do you convert that into a feeling, right?
Inclusivity, acceptance, and freedom.
Yeah, and that produces a feeling of, I feel safe here, right?
We don't include Fendel though. He put his hand up. We won't include that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I actually think, like, for me, Tezos actually means gratitude, and mostly like I was talking to Flexi and Ryan just a couple of days ago about it, and and the reason why I say that is because of the collab contracts, and like, I don't know, I say it a lot, but I just feel like I'm hanging out with my friends for as long as the blockchain is a blockchain, and no matter what happens to me, like, I'm hanging out, like we're hanging out right now.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it. And then when I think about that deeply, I just have gratitude. And so I'm just like, well, that is a lot more meaningful for me, as time goes on and I'm not here, that my work is like shared maybe in a more meaningful way, and not just like in some weird, I don't know, silo weirdness, like that may or may not exist. I don't know. Like, who knows if, some of these streaming services will even be a thing, they might break in half. And that'll be the end of it. So anyway, so that's my thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, PB?
Oh, is he there?
Maybe he's occupied.
He could be.
Oh, there's Retro.
Retro.
Hey,
What's up, Retro? Welcome, man.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
How you doing, brother?
Hello.
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you guys doing? Been enjoying the conversation.
Super fantastic.
So I thought I'd come up and say hello towards the end of the show, because I've been eating my soup and bread. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Fair
delicious.
enough. Have any thoughts on
It's kind of rude when your wife makes you food and then you're kind of like in spaces at the same time. So I thought I'd do the polite thing and just wait for me to finish, and then.
Now, in your house, is it culturally polite to slurp the soup to show appreciation and joy while eating, or is that considered like bad manners?
It's not a topic that's ever come up, to be honest with you. So
it's like in some cultures,
I can
like
experiment.
a
I
big
can experiment and let you know.
At the end, it shows appreciation for the meal and the person who prepared it and the host.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So in my household, not in my household, in my family, my grandmother used to burp very heartily, and I was always told that it's a good thing when Indians burp because it means they enjoyed their food.
Yeah.
But
I love
I'm not sure if that's true. But yeah, that's my gran used to. She used to love her massive burps. I'm very proud of them as well.
Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you for sharing, Retro. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I got the biggest smile. Dude, that was hilarious.
But just remember, India's a big country, so there's probably someone in India who will tell you that's completely false, and I'm spreading lies.
Right. That's why I said in your house, your home, your home culture. Like when you're at home, because sometimes you develop these things that work for you, that like never were a thing in your family before, and probably won't. Well, who knows? Maybe your kids might pick them up. Like when they use weird one-off terms you use for words outside of the house, and they're like, "What do you mean nobody else uses this word?" What have we done?
I thought British people were all into manners. No.
I think you know what? I think it is true. I think we are into manners, generally speaking, when we meet new people. But
you're Indian side.
Is there a difference between manners and being polite?
Oh yeah.
So the difference between manners and being polite. No, they're the same thing, aren't they?
Arguably. I mean, some people say that the British are very impolite, but they have great manners.
Yeah,
You mean through the use of sarcasm?
Yes, well,
I mean,
you
the
have
sarcasm.
incredible wit. You know, your verbal sparring, watching two people who are just going at it in like the UK, for example, we can't fathom that in the United States. That's way too much. Like every argument in the UK is like a Guy Ritchie film in the United States.
I feel like polite is intentional, whereas manners is just you doing something just because it's a rule, right?
Well, I think the manners is is up to a certain point, because there's boundaries. So I guess at some point when someone's taking the piss, the manners fall away, and then it becomes a Guy Ritchie film.
Okay.
Yep.
I see.
Like that
But
big
up
fight
until that
scene.
point, you know, very polite, a lot of manners for the most part.
I love it. You guys are awesome. It's amazing being able to experience all the different cultures. Like Kryptonio said, Tezos touches all corners of the earth, even areas that technically probably can't.
Yeah,
get on
that
X.
too. That's part of it too. Yeah. It is a complex thing, you know, that we're trying to articulate, but
It is, and then not only that, you have to simplify it down to be digestible.
yeah, but this is where like your feedback kind of helped, is because when I go talk to people now, right? I'm talking to lots of people outside of crypto, and it's not easy, as you know.
No,
but I could go about the details about the DAO and NFTs, blah blah blah. But actually, I should just say, oh yeah, those you guys are cool. You know,
sometimes that's what they need to know.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all. I think oh man, I can hang out with these cool people, and
Maybe it's
they're honest and direct, and I feel good. You know, I feel they're reliable, right? Like just stuff like that. Like
the feeling of belonging, maybe.
yeah,
That would be it. You know,
Acceptance.
that
You could
feel that
belong
you
but never
belong,
be
you're
accepted.
Not that you
Nah.
belong, that you're part of a community. You know, like a real community. I don't know how.
You
to
could
put it
belong
into
in the
words.
family but never be accepted.
yeah. I'm guilty as just as any other engineer. You know, I get obsessed about the technical details, but I'm like, it's just so easier just talking about.
It might be easier to do what is Tezos plus the person equal, and figure what that thing is at the end. And if you can figure what that is, especially with your audience, you're going to find something for them to be able to latch on to, relate to, and talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to talk about Tezos. It's really easy to talk about the person. And it's really easy to talk about how Tezos is going to affect the person or what the person is going to do to Tezos. But you never really talk about what the synthesis of all of that becomes at the end. And that's what I think people really are looking for when they're asking, well, tell me about Tezos. They don't want to know about your fast TPS. They don't want to know about your low fees. They want to know, if I invest in this, do I know that it's not going to disappear? Do I know that the people behind it mean well? Do I know, these are things that they're asking in that question.
Mm-hmm.
You have to spend time. You have to spend time with the people who use Tezos to understand it. There's no real other way, in my opinion. You could tell someone everything they need to know, but they won't. They won't connect with it until they've spent time, talked to people, and actually witnessed what's happening. I think that's the most important.
I think we just gotta get their head in the door first. To spend the time.
Getting in the doors.
Whatever their first thing is. If it is money, then so be it. We'll meet you there. If it's about freedom, then so be it. We'll meet you there. If it's about expression, so be it. We meet you there. But I think we just need to get their head in the door. And right now,
it depends. It depends what aspect they're coming in for. Like through the whole zero contract thing, I've met a lot of people who have been minting on other chains, and they're all artists, and they've come to Tezos through zero contract, and so they came for the tech, as it were, to see, okay, this is possible, but then they start to witness how it works and how people help each other out and try and work together. It's not kind of an extractive process. It's not like everyone's trying to get something from each other. It's actually more of a, well, how can we help each other get to the same goal? So I think when they see that, they realize, and I've literally heard had messages from people in our DM group who say, I didn't realize it was like this. It's been really good to actually check it out and be part of this. And even some who haven't yet minted yet, but say, I love the way you guys are doing things. It feels like a family. And I think that's an important part. Not to get it twisted. Obviously, people still need to get their worth out of it. They're not here just to contribute, but it's got to be more of a kind of give and take. And I think you realize that when you spend time here, that there does tend to be that. It's a more human approach than you do tend to get in other blockchains, because they're usually talking about other things that crypto is important for, not necessarily why it's beneficial to us right now and how we can, find connection and find a sense of belonging, like you guys were saying.
Yeah, because the only other option is to promise vast economical and financial gain. That's the only other option, right?
I think people.
Yeah. We get that out of the way quickly and tell them there's no financial opportunity here. Just, you're here for the vibes. I'm joking.
Friendly, you have your hand up.
No, he doesn't.
Earlier. He did earlier.
Oh.
Well,
he got occupied now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's busy. He's hosting.
They're doing something over there at his house. I don't know what.
Dude, Fendel's house is one of the coolest places I have ever been.
They're plotting something as we speak. I know this. No, I think family friendly. That I think.
Oh God.
That everyone's underestimating that word on Tezos.
Family fun zone.
Yeah, we're like wholesome and really, like.
I don't think we're very family friendly.
That's relative to what else is going on in the world. How about that? But
I think we're more like docu-series drama.
I guess so, but you know what I mean. I mean, we're pretty wholesome.
Maybe a dramedy,
for the most part. Like, yeah, I mean, you see some weird stuff in the artwork sometimes, but it's not like it's. Anyway, I'm just saying
we don't have any super degen spaces.
Yeah,
I think that's what
we're a family, but see, this is where it starts getting cultish. Because it sounds like a cult when you talk about it. Yeah.
Well, if it's successful, it's not a cult. If it fails, it's a cult. I don't know what to tell you.
That's the only two differences.
It's like
it's definitely a cult. It's a 100% cult.
It's the difference between day drinking and alcoholism. It's just how much money you make. That's the difference.
Oh, I see.
You have to indoctrinate people into a certain way of thinking for them to join the family. That's a cult.
But what if it's a community based on a universal shared principle? It's not necessarily a matter of convincing people of something. It's a matter of...
You sound like a cultist.
That sounds like you're trying to convince me of something, Blanks.
Am I, though? Or am I trying to identify common relatable ground to meet at, as opposed to try to convince you that I have the thing for you?
I feel like the hole is just getting deeper and deeper right now.
Oh, we can go far. I can have fun with it, too.
Next, we're gonna go knock on doors.
I may have been classically trained in building cults. Anyway.
Well, that's a good skill to have, man. You can make a lot of money that way.
I prefer to provide a service than convince people that they're going to get something they don't.
Yeah, you're too honest.
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. But I would not underestimate the family thing. Just saying.
No, family's good. Family friendly's arguably dangerous.
But also family. The word we're a family, that's overused as well. So you gotta be careful of that.
So what is it?
Yeah. I think you're mixing up with. I think maybe you don't mean before the watershed. Do you? Like PG. That's not what you mean when you say family friendly. I think that's what Blanks thinks you mean.
No. No, I mean, yeah, I was talking
that's
more like
what
a
it
cult.
sounds like.
unfortunately, I don't want to go there, but that's exactly where most people will, and we don't want to frame it, do we? We don't. We also don't want to say Tezos to Slasher Club, you know.
Tezos 18.
Well,
Ooh, I like the A team.
The reality is that most people don't believe in anything. So anytime they see anyone do something that they believe in, it's going to look like a cult to them.
Right, or it's not real, or it's a lie, or it's going to inevitably fail. It's already been decided before you.
I've been in like a dozen different groups, and I've been called, "Oh, you guys are a cult." You know, I'm like, "Well, we just believe in what we're doing. Is that weird?" Apparently, it is. So,
well, you could also
not within crypto, though. I think they get it. I think if you try to reach outside of crypto and bring people into Tezos through that means, it does seem like it. I think within crypto, there's lots of different ways people see people on Tezos.
We already drank the Kool-Aid.
They already drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I still remember. I still remember going to a Bitcoin space and hanging out there for a while, and they were trashing Tezos. They were trashing Tezos art, but in a real underhanded way. And this is a while back. Don't go on a crusade or anything. I'm talking. This is like.
I mean, I know they do that.
Like early days of what's their art stuff?
What's a retro?
I've already made a list of names. It's okay. But yeah, they were like, when I started defending Tezos, they told me I need to go drink some milk.
Well, you obviously were tripping balls. Like what they were saying.
That sounds like a Bitcoin person, though. I mean, they're all kind of like that. But yeah, I mean, hey, have you heard people talk about Bitcoin? It is a freaking cult, man. Like listen to Michael Saylor. Right?
I recommend just say outright that it is a cult. Priest. Just start with that and be like, don't try to tell me it's not. And then start explaining it, and then people will be like, but it's not a cult. And like just frame it that way. It's really funny how you can set people up against themselves when you do things like that.
This is how you can test if it's a Bitcoin cult, if someone's in a Bitcoin cult, though. When you're talking to them, tell them that you've got lots of XRP.
Oh, that ruins their day.
See what they say. And tell them, yeah, no, XRP is just as good as Bitcoin.
It's better. It's upgraded Bitcoin, is what you say. And you watch the fire literally fly out of their nose and the steam pour out of their ears. No, we're not in it to make anyone mad. We're not in it to prove anybody wrong. In fact, the truth is everybody's right in their own way. Like otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. So that's the beautiful thing about an opinion. It's not based on fact. It's based on your opinion. And all of this is all opinion. There is no fundamentally game theory optimal way to go. I mean, if you want to run your charts, you want to run like that's your way. If you want to do it by feel and gut, that's your way. Is it going to always turn a profit? I don't know. That's not like if that was a thing, we wouldn't all be out here talking about making the world a better place. We'd just be doing it. We wouldn't be trying to figure out the best path to go down. We wouldn't be arguing over how we feel it's right or wrong, because we're all still ultimately trying to find the best way, which is very different than, like you would say, a cult, which has the right way. And the only right way is through them. And there's one key holder, and there's a choke point, and you have to do things. See, there's a very big difference between a cult and us. And that the difference I really do believe is there's no linchpin system in our community. It's not you have to get Arthur's like blessing in order to participate. You don't have to ascend to the 7th level so some alien can bless you. Like it's easy to point out that things are like cults, and it's easy to point out all these things, but that's just insecurity and a reason to say no. And if we're out just fighting the objections, if we're out there just fighting people's objections all day, we're missing the people who are looking for this opportunity, who understand what it could potentially mean, who are looking for people like us. So
yeah, I think there's a lot of people that want what we have here, you know, and
there are.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get
there's still conflicts. There's still conflicts, though. I mean, you know, there's nothing's paradise, right? I mean,
no. No. There's
And I think that's the important thing that does separate it from, if I'm going to defend the anti-cult idea, is that's what does separate it, that there is conflicts and people have different ideas, and it's not like everyone follows just one leader who's showing everyone the path to financial freedom. That's not what's happening here. It's a very different thing, and that's why you do have to spend time here to really understand all of the different. It's kind of like lots of different families and lots of different things that kind of have similar. They're joined under one banner, in some sense, obviously through Tezos, but they've got different goals, different aims, and different ways and philosophies and ways of seeing the world as well. As we kind of found out recently with Arthur's post, there's, people have different ways of even seeing the world, and there's conflict over those things, but there's still common ground for the things that they're trying to achieve and what they want to do, and they're still, hopefully, for the most part, willing to help each other regardless of the difference in opinion and different approaches to those things.
Isn't it the same with our societies?
Yeah, we're a village. We're a commune.
Yeah, I mean, like,
we're like a nation. We are like our own nation, and like we're a country. We are the
fun
Tezos
fact-
Kingdom or the Tezos
we
Nation.
segregated ourselves
When
from reality. Yeah.
a fun fact is that when I joined Tezos back in 2020, I didn't even know who Arthur was for at least 3 or 4 months that I was into, on X tweeting and everything. Back then, obviously, there wasn't even an art community, But I joined Tezos. I was, researching it, and I liked the philosophy behind it, the on-chain governance, the staking, and everything. But I didn't get to know who Arthur is. I saw some tweets from him and everything. I didn't even care who the co-founder was back then, so that was fun.
How did that change for you?
What?
So how did you? I mean,
Eventually, I figured out, by interacting with other people in the community, and they mentioned Arthur or whatever, and then I figured out who he
when
was.
you mean community, who was that back then?
There were so many people that are no longer here, and so many new ones that joined, but it was mostly around the bakers.
Okay, baking community.
Baking community and mostly investor community, I would say. You didn't even have DeFi, you didn't have any dApps back then, which is pretty ironical that we had our all-time high in price when we had nothing on chain, like no dApps.
I know.
Nothing. But yeah, that's the crypto space in a nutshell, I think.
Okay.
But,
Hey, wait,
yeah.
but the bakers are the great. The bakers are usually pretty cool.
Yeah, totally. And but even back then, I remember even the bakers and or the simple delegators, the people that were in the community, this nature of helping and like guiding other people, how to delegate back then and which wallet, how it works or whatever. It was much earlier, obviously. Like,
No, but
were
people
spending a
care,
lot of
right?
time.
That's what.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what makes a difference.
I got
can-
so many questions answered by people, random people on Twitter that I didn't know about Tezos
You can
back
you
then.
can tell when someone's there just for the money and they're saying some bunch of bullshit, right? Like
Yeah,
it's obvious.
yeah.
Like, but here people care, like, and it's obvious.
we still have a bunch.
But there is a bit of a balance, right? So like, when there's the attitude of, oh, they're only here for the money, and you kind of got to shed that. No, I'm not here for the money. No, I'm here just to help. I think there's a balance between
that's
the
not
two.
realistic. That's
It's not
and
realistic.
true.
Exactly.
It's not true.
Yeah.
I
So I think sometimes we have, and I'm speaking from the artist point of view. Most artists that I've come across, and even myself included, have gone through a journey of very difficult relationship with money. So it's very, we're in the crypto industry, which is all about money, and we're trying to find that balance, because you can lean over into some of the
I
other
didn't
spaces.
mean that to say like money is not important. It's the this is a very specific thing some people do where
they're just extraction. They're just here to extract.
Yeah, they're just like telling you a bunch of BS, but you're just here for the money, man. you don't believe in all of that stuff you just said, right? Like, yeah, that's what
I remember when when we recently had this PFP kind of pump on Tezos recently, and a few new people were coming in, and they were like, "Tell me what am I supposed to buy? Tell me what to buy. Where are we looking? What are we doing?" And it was straight away I could sense that the exact same words and same narratives coming over that I remember from 2021 on other chains and 22 on other chains. And it's like they come here and they're basically what they're asking is, how can I extract value here? What do I do to extract value? Show me where I can go. That's what they're asking.
yeah.
Which is, in some cases it's fair, because if that's what you're used to and if that's what you think it's about, then you're going to do that. But I think those who spend a bit of time here and hang out with people, they start to see, oh, this is not just about that. This is actually, it's more reciprocal and there's more give and take rather than just how can I come in here? Where do I put my money so I can make some money out of it? It's not just investment. It's an investment of time and kind of building something that you can care about, which is different.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't always work. It's not
I
paradise.
just prefer people being upfront, right? So if you're here for money and you want to extract, if you're here for extraction, that's kind of refreshing. Someone just saying it right off, Yeah, I'm here to play a game and I want to win the game. I'm like, okay, cool. It's your right. No one can stop you, right? But I'm not going to play your game, but if other one, right? Because there's winners and losers, and if you go in with the mindset like, okay, maybe I can make some money, like it's just the faking it part that bothers me. If you're here for the art, then at least try. At least try to understand.
This brings us back to your point about feelings and your request about things. One of the most needed feelings, I think, and one feeling that most people on Tezos have is patience. Right? Because I think it attracts people that are, how do I put it, I don't want to say smart or whatever, but they like to think for themselves, to dig into things and that they make their decisions on their own. They're not fed, what we were discussing before, that you were indoctrinated into it or whatever. You do your own research, you make your own decisions, and you do believe in the end somehow in a long game, let's say, or something. And
long-term
that requires thinking. And that requires patience, a lot of patience.
Yeah, and that's our culture. Even I remember Arthur just like being dismissive, pretty dismissive of the market crash, right? It's like, we're here for the long haul, and a lot of people gave him shit for that, but at the same time, I'm like, that's what I signed up for, man. Like,
Yeah.
But I think,
I remember.
people don't understand trading either a lot of the times, and they don't understand, when there's a sudden pump, they think it's supposed to last forever, and their emotions get involved, and they think that one spike,
totally.
They don't realize there's a gap to fill, it's going to come down. You have to understand how this stuff works, and they don't understand leverage trading and how that's having a massive impact. There's loads of other things that people get very emotional about, and they either don't know about it or they're too entrenched in a way.
Yeah.
And there's so many different facets to being someone on a blockchain who's occupying a small corner of it, which we all kind of do. We occupy small corners of a blockchain doing our own thing. And there's loads of other things happening, and there's loads of other dramas happening as well, which, there's more to it, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And there are so many different variables, and there is so many people also that don't understand that there is no real connection, and that's my opinion, obviously, but there is no real connection between the tech of a blockchain or the users or the dApps or whatever with the market caps and the price actions. And it's I think people think there is much more weight on the price because of those things than what it is in reality.
Yeah.
You know, like there are so many things going on in the exchanges, in the order books, in the market makers, in the 1,000 different things, the arbitrage bots, and who knows what else, all the connections that are going by, in the background that most of them we probably don't even realize, right? So it's easy, and I did it myself as well in the early days, that I was, you know, as you said, there's so much emotion, and I was like, why don't you do that or this or
It
this
does
or
feel
that?
good when it goes up, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Can't deny
the
that.
more time you spend in crypto, and that's not just in Tezos, that's in so many different communities. I started out in so many different coins, you know,
Mhm.
and it's always the same thing, that the more time you spend, the more you realize that, okay, yeah, that's part of the cycle, that's part of the whole crypto thing, you know.
Yeah.
It also shows how much we still obviously value the dollar or fiat, because we're always comparing it in that sense,
Oh
of
yeah.
course, you know. So we are nowhere near separating it from that. And the only thing, I mean, I don't subscribe to the one Tez equals one Tez thing, to be honest, because obviously as an artist, people got to live, and you know, you got to do your business, sell your work, and hopefully pay some bills. You can keep some, stake some, whatever you want to do. But at the same time, you know, one Tez does equal one Tez when you're selling your work, and you choose what the price is, and you build that into the way you kind of encourage your collectors to collect, in one sense. So really the value of it only then starts mattering in fiat when you start to say, okay, now I need to take some profit. I need to put some back into my bank account to buy food and pay bills, right? So it kind of, both things apply. But hopefully maybe one day, you know, the crypto changes the way we actually live our lives as well, not just it has to be converted to this, and that's when it's useful.
Well, when you actually use it to buy things, right? But we're not.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what kind of world that looks like. It's interesting because I'm not sure how that would look.
Here's a thought experiment that might be interesting. Let's say the dollar crashes tomorrow and it goes into hyperinflation mode. And so one Tez is not even like Tezos to $10,000. And it's not because Tezos is doing so great. It's because the dollar crashed. What happened then?
You need $10,000 to buy bread, right?
Yeah. So then it's like, oh man, I'm rich. And then you go to the store and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Right. Wait a minute. So I don't know.
That also depends where you are in the world as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it depends on where you are in the world. So it's like, oh, but it's an interesting thing to think about because that's a very realistic scenario that could happen.
Like the value of Tezos in the UK is very low. You know, like you take it out and convert it to pounds, it's
so
very
that'll
low.
be like a new frontier that never has happened, right? So that'd be interesting. So wait, should I go to take my Tezos to Brazil or China, or you know, like all these weird questions you never had to ask before.
Also, will you get taxed? Are you going to live in a country where you get taxed on your crypto? Like, I'm in the UK again. We get taxed to high heaven on everything. So
can I buy a house for 50?
Yeah. Well, the moment you make any kind of transfer from one crypto to another, not just to fiat, but one crypto to another, and there's a gain in there, that's taxable.
Oh yeah.
So, and it's apparently it's all monitored now, which is like it's a whole other level of just tightening around owning crypto. And so, you know, you do then start to look at what are these other other countries that they have different tax laws around crypto. They start to become more enticing.
Yeah. But what you gonna do? Like, are you gonna move with your family there? I don't know.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, depends how entrenched in crypto you are and how much, you know, you have in there. And I think if you have a certain amount, well, why do you think all of the traders have moved to places like Dubai and
Yeah,
places
but
like
most
that.
of them are, I don't know, like I think that most of them are like younger, single, not with families, who
Yeah,
can set up live, in the place
yeah,
and stuff like
I
that.
actually
Because it gets much
know.
harder.
No,
definitely,
I
100%.
actually know someone who actually became an expat because they're worried about the direction of the country, or and lots of people threaten that, but they threaten they're going to leave if something happens, but they never follow up. But this guy did. I would not call him a normal person though, because he's not nothing wrong with him, but he yeah, he's a white guy, and then he found an Indian wife. They met here in the States, but he made some money in crypto, in Ethereum. We were in it together, and then he was like, I don't know, and then he just like left, took his wife and his family. They have 2 kids now. They live in Singapore now, I think. I'm not sure, but
Big life
man,
choices, man. Big life.
I thought
life
that's a
choices.
big choice.
It's a big choice, but I mean, at the same time, I understand it. It's a big choice because
Yeah.
you do move your whole family, but I'm guessing it's not just to do with crypto. There's a lot of things you've got to
Oh,
consider when you live
absolutely,
in a
man. Yeah.
country and you're raising your kids in that country,
Oh yeah,
especially when
yeah.
they're young, and you're thinking, what is their life going to be like where we are, and how could maybe I give them a different opportunity? So it's uncomfortable to move country. Of course it is, especially if you've lived in a country your whole life,
Yeah.
or
Well, he
especially if
traveled a lot, so maybe it wasn't that hard as it could be. But I was surprised. He was just like, "Whoa, I'm gone." I'm like, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
nice knowing you."
We're not saying that it's wrong or anything. It totally depends on its person's
But I
circumstances.
feel like people like him might become more common, as time goes on. So
I
that's
think for some
something.
people, man, the motions of everyday life don't make sense when you're no longer chasing certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why a lot of relationships end. It's why you move on, date people as a young person. I mean, it's
Yeah.
inevitably coming to an end.
And this was in 2017. Now this was a while ago.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he's in the heart of it now.
and you have a relationship with the country that you live in as well. It's the same.
yeah.
There's a bond that you have with it, and then if it breaks, then you are going to leave, aren't you? It doesn't make sense to me anyway.
I think right now he's probably feeling like he did the right thing. Like,
Well, if he's still there, I don't think he's arguing with himself.
oh no, they're great people. I know his wife too. Like, very nice. Yeah, but he was a crypto bro. That really, yeah. Sometimes I think about it because I'm like, oh man, but where would I go? I don't know. Right. A good move to Japan where they do things that
The
make
crypto
sense.
bros are struggling now, though. It's the traders, the ones who are smart traders that know what they're doing. Those are the ones that are making it now. The crypto bros, they didn't evolve. They're really struggling. If they're not losing everything.
Oh, the era of crypto broism is over.
Yeah, it's now the trader, and the crypto bros moved. Some of them moved into leverage trading and just keep getting wiped out over and over again.
Yeah. No, I've been seeing posts about like, oh, meme coins are over. And I'm like, oh, finally, thank God. Yeah. sorry for the meme coin fans, but I'm just like, fine,
we are over
time.
We are already over 2 hours.
Holy crap!
Wait, I thought. Oh.
Wow! Yeah. Look at that. Okay, well, hey, you know what, folks? This has been an amazing call. I'm gonna go ahead and actually probably start wrapping it up there. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add before we close this up? Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say? What feeling you get when you think about Tezos, and then think about what feeling you get when I say the word.
Talk about your feelings.
Solana. How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel?
Oh, that makes me so mad.
Interesting. Now just kind of channel that and figure out how to turn that into words so people can understand it and relate to you, because that's what we're looking for. I'm not looking for I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I want a lottery ticket. I want $1 billion so that I don't have to worry about shit. But I'm sure at $1 billion, you got more shit to worry about now than I ever would. But here's the thing: people don't know what they want. They just want to feel good about what they do choose. And you don't want to hear that a big investment you just made is a bad idea. You don't want to hear that the latest vehicle you bought was the shittiest version. You just don't want to hear those things, even if it's true. And we in Tezos are not afraid to pull those punches. And so we have to learn how to put a little velvet on our hammers as we pound away at the world out there. Just a little bit of velvet. And that doesn't change the message. That doesn't make it necessarily unfactual, or it doesn't make it, a lie. We're not out there pumping hype or anything.
Yeah.
But add a little velvet to the hammer. We don't need to tell people that they're idiots for making bad decisions. They already know that. But we don't need to pad their butt and say that they're the smartest people either. They don't need that. We don't pander to people. Not in Tezos. This is a zero pandering zone. So, anyway, I love you all, guys. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just remind people why you're still here. I think that's a good place to start.
I'm still here because Ryan keeps talking. Otherwise, we would have closed. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're
I have
doing
one
here
thing
because
to
you're
add.
getting paid. That's why. I get it.
No, I was here long before I was getting paid, and I'll be here probably long after the opportunity is gone, because this is bigger than, say, a transactional relationship. This is bigger than I get. I'm here personally, and I even put it up. I repinned it back up on my account. I'm here because of two guys that I met in a chat room over a project that no longer is around. But what they laid out and how they explained everything to me, that has not changed in the time from then till now. That story hasn't changed, and I've heard it from everyone. It's a unified message. So we can continue that. We can continue to keep singing the same song. The words don't necessarily have to be the same every time, but the tune's got to be exactly the same, so that when they're humming, they're humming that tune in the back of their mind.
Now, these calls are my favorite because we kind of just riff on something, and it's usually pretty interesting.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, Ryan, and Retro, and Sandy, and Fendel, and I know PB's gone.
I have one thing I want to ask.
No, we closed it. Yeah, go ahead.
See, you're proving it's a cult again. No, I'm joking. I can't give you $1 billion blanks, but I do have a free tool in my pin for artists, and if you do want to go check it out, I think it's a really cool tool that I made using Grok and ChatGPT, where you can animate PNGs and how GIFs loop over and over, where you can program them to have chained animations now and then settle on a loop at the end using SVG, and they're all ready for minting on chain. So it's a free tool. Go check it out in my pinned tweet. Appreciate it.
Bro, that's worth more than $1 billion, because I couldn't do that before, and I wanted to do that before, but I couldn't. And even if I paid somebody $1 billion, I don't think I could articulate and make it do what you made it do way better than $1 billion. And it's free. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Now remember, folks, you technically don't need anyone's permission. You can just go do things. What were you going to say?
Pendel's hand. I see Pendel's hand up. Pendel.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for a lovely space, and just want to remind everybody to keep supporting each other. It's absolutely free, and I love you guys. Thank you for a beautiful day. Happy Tez Tuesday. Let's get it. Woo! That's from Flexi over there.
Back at you, Flex. Back at you, brother.
Ah, nice.
All right, I just ruined my studio. Everything's cool.
Oh man, sounded like a bomb went off.
Let's go.
Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
All right. That was
Peace,
a nice
fellas.
one,
Have a good day.
Oh,
you
that's
too,
awesome.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, Blacks. I'm not gonna interrupt you again. Sorry.
No, do you got anything else you want to say?
Me?
Yeah.
Anybody? Anyone? And last moment. This will be your last. I'll give you this. Is the final call.
Sparks.
I've got a poem I'd like to read. It'll take about half an hour. It'll take about half an hour to read.
I'm going to recite Alfred Teniel's full script from 1873. Are you ready?
I would rather hear like the soliloquy from Hamlet.
We can do that. I have a very elegant voice for oration.
To be.
Or not to be.
That is the question.
Oh, someone's
Whether
calling
it
you,
is
Mark.
nobler.
Right in the middle of our shenanigans.
You guys rock. Well, my friends. Oh, that's a great echo.
Brendel, mute yourself. You are getting echo.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Mute.
Hello.
Oh, you got rid of it. Well, folks, I just want to say big thanks to everyone who came up and shared updates, ideas, stories. It's really what keeps these calls worth showing up for. Now, if you didn't get a chance to speak this time, we do this every other week. Same place, same time. We're back every Tuesday. So if this is your first time listening, check out our past episodes or join us next week. Until then, stay curious, stay connected, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining.